I'm not a gym pro. I don't go to the gym. That doesn't really work for me. And I'm trying to find something that I can do every single day and that I can really enjoy. What I do is I create exercises and tools to reclaim my inner power. And when it clicks for me, I bring them here so you can get a new superpower. Let's lock in. I've got this exercise that I started working on already. I want every single exercise to help me see the truth to begin with. I want to see the truth and I want to be honest with myself. And then in the second step, what I want to achieve is once I've seen the truth, faced the truth for myself, I want to be able to do something different. So if I'm not doing anything different, nothing's going to change for the better for me. So what I want to achieve is see the truth, face the truth, and then do something different about that. And then step three is always the same. I notice my past behavior. And then step four is I aim for something better. And step five is how do I create a small win for myself today? Where can I start? Where can I begin? So let's work on this together. So what I'm going to do is spark something. That's what I want to do. I want to spark the truth. I want people to have something that makes them go. So what I'm basically saying is the first question is not challenging you enough. The kind of truth that I want people to have is to get to a point of transparency with themselves so much that they will realize what was wrong with their previous behavior. I'm going to be doing this exercise myself. So, what I want to achieve is when I do this first step, that it will make me realize everything that was wrong with my previous behavior so that I can see the truth, face myself for who I am, and I can do something about it, something different. But it starts with the ability to see who I am, how things really, really are without a filter. That's what we want. Now that I'm looking at this as it is right now, I'm realizing that we also are going to need a target. So I want to move on a daily basis, but what is a target? Is 5 minutes of movement what I want? Or is it 30 minutes of movement? So we need to be specific here. So what I'm going to add is a target because if you're not aiming for anything, you're not aiming for anything. So you're not going to push yourself. You're not going to move in a direction, in a specific direction. So what I will add here is a target to make sure that we are being specific and we know when we're where we need to be versus when we're not. So I'm going to be adding a target here as well. By the way, you're working with me live here. So this is not something that I prepare in advance. I just get up and do it. So you're working with me. So bear with me for a second here. So I'm going to be adding a target somewhere around here. Okay, so we're about to go in a different direction. So right now, what I have is see things differently. And what I'm saying is, or what I'm asking people to ask themselves and realize is that movement is not optional and your body and mind are built for it. But the new version is I want people to think about how does the lack of movement make them feel? Okay. So do you feel ashamed? Do you feel weak? Does it make you feel low on energy, dull, whatever? So I need you to answer that question for yourself. So that's a more interesting question and gives you a whole different way of looking at daily movement. So, how does the lack of movement on a daily basis make you feel on the inside? And the second question, still in step one, is why am I dissatisfied with how little I move? So I'm thinking about adding those two things in there and compare and add also a target that we want to commit to. How many steps a day is how many movements a day or how many calories, whatever the case may be that works for you. We need to be specific about that. So Your body is just built to move. And when you don't, it's going to show up in your mood and energy. So, this is the new title. The way we're going to pierce and get to the truth is by adding an additional question that is even stronger, a stronger question. Let's add a stronger question here. And that stronger question is, what's the real cost of not moving? That's a different question than having to answer between I move, I'm stuck in stillness, or I don't move, or I'm not, not consistent enough. So that's a different question. What's the real cost of not moving? Why are we even doing this exercise? So, how does this drain your mood, confidence, or your daily energy? That's the real question that we want to be answering now. How does your lack of movement make you feel on the inside? So I'm going to be doing this exercise myself, and I can tell you right now that just thinking about this question, how does the lack of movement make me feel on the inside? That's a much, much deeper question. It's the kind of question that makes me think deeply. So we're on to something. This is what I'm going to be using. How does the lack of movement make me feel on the inside? Ask yourself that question. So, yeah, we're going to use that. That's what we're going to be using. So I'm going to remove the check mark here. So here's the real question I want people to answer. So we have a completely different exercise already, but we're not done. So the new question is, how does the lack of movement make me feel on the inside? How does that make you feel? Shamed, weak, dull, whatsoever? You answer that question, and then why am I dissatisfied with how little I move? And then what target am I able to commit to? This could be in steps per day, minutes of movement per day, calories burned per day, whatever works for you. You can even make it something else. The point is you have to be able to commit to a target. That's why we put that in there. So now we can go to step two. I'm actually very satisfied with step two because now that you've been able to face the truth and tell yourself the truth, how the lack of movement makes you feel on the inside, and you're able to answer why you're dissatisfied with the little movement that you're currently having, you commit to a target. And then once you've done that, you're able to look at your own life differently and do something differently. And then you can start with small movement, a small movement that you can keep doing and actually enjoy. So here's a kind of movement that I can do every single day. And this is how I can make it more enjoyable. So I've got a few examples in here. Like, for example, I will dance to my favorite playlist when I'm cooking dinner. This is something you could do every single day. You put on your favorite playlist and you dance to the music and you are cooking dinner. That's a way to move and make movement fun. Okay. Another example is I will do a short yoga flow every morning and I will light up a scented candle. So if lighting up a candle, a scented candle, makes yoga much more enjoyable for you, that's awesome. So these are just two examples, and you can come up with anything. The goal is to really to come up with what are the things that you can do every single day that you can enjoy, and you have to specifically make them enjoyable. Before you know it, you're moving your body every single day. So that's what we want to get to. And then step three is always the same. Step three, always the same. Notice your past behavior. What are your previous patterns? And again, look at how it's easier to notice your past behavior once you've answered the first question. If you're able to answer why you're dissatisfied with your own lack of movement and how it makes you feel ashamed, weak, dull, whatever, and then you're able to commit to a target, now you can go back and then notice your past behavior. How was life before? So now in step four, we're aiming for something. We're imagining a better self. And once you write that down, what better looks like for you, it becomes a whole lot easier to go from this is what I'm aiming for. This is the bigger goal, the bigger target, but this is not today, this is tomorrow, this is next week, this is next year. That's what I want to be. That's the kind of person I want to be. And then you can go all the way to today. How do I create one small win for today? One small step that you can take. And listen, I'm going to be doing this exercise myself. And if I can do this, then you can do this too. And I'm a human being just like you. I've been ashamed. I've had a lack of movement. I've done a lot of self-sabotage. I've been in dark places. I've done all of the above. I've been there. I'm just like you. Whatever clicks for me, I'm going to bring it here so you can gain a new superpower. I really look forward to doing this exercise. I'm going to share my results and document my journey with you. I'll see you next week. My name is Chris Kasanga. Keep living an empowered life.